Hey guys, Keith Rainbow here, the Fat Yankee, my friends. So listen, we're gonna make another beef jerky recipe today. We're gonna actually make one of the most probably looked up beef jerky recipes on the internet today. So this recipe is the infamous Dr. Pepper Jalapeno beef jerky, guys. Now, most people, they try this recipe and they actually don't like it at all. The reason being is because they're using a whole muscle jerky. Today, I'm gonna show you how to infuse a fragmented jerky with this Dr. Pepper jalapeno flavoring, guys. So let's get started. As always, my friends, 2 pounds of black Angus beef. This is actually a little bit more than 2 pounds of black Angus beef, but if you stick to what I say in fragmented beef jerky and keep the wet ingredients under a half a cup or less for 2 pounds, you'll be okay. It's actually, and you want to let this sit for, again, about 24 hours, okay? So listen, we're not going to use any soy sauce today in this recipe because I don't want to take away from the fluids that we add, and we want to add that Dr. Pepper in here. So what we're going to use today is a mixing bowl because we're also going to add Preg powder #1 as a cure. Now, as I mentioned, we've got 2 pounds of black Angus beef. So let's get started with our recipe, guys. Dr. Pepper jalapeno beef jerky like you've never seen before, guys, from the Fat Yankee. This is one you're going to want to try this one for sure, okay, guys? So let's get started. We're going to do, again, our 2 pounds of black Angus beef, and we're going to do 1/3 of a cup, guys, of Dr. Pepper. Looks like the kids got to this one before I did, though. So let's get that in there. 1/3 of a cup of Dr. Pepper, okay? And again, the reason why I'm putting this in this bowl, and you'll see me do this with fragmented jerky because I'm going to use Preg #1, and I want to make sure I get that Preg #1 mixed in real good, guys. Okay, so now we're going to use a teaspoon of garlic. All right, nice and simple. We're going to use a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay, stick with me, guys. Teaspoon of black pepper. And now we're going to use a half a teaspoon of Preg powder #1. Always remember with Preg powder #1, guys, that it is a 1/4 teaspoon per pound, okay, with this Preg powder #1. So we're going to use half a teaspoon. And again, you don't want to go too crazy on this stuff. This actually is very, can actually be lethal. If taken in too high of a dose, okay? Because it's extremely salty, it is a cure, and it will actually, if someone has a heart condition or high blood pressure, it could send them into, some kind of medical condition. Okay, guys? So very important, 1/4 teaspoon of Preg powder #1 per pound of either ground or whole muscle jerky. It's extremely important. Okay, so now we're going to use some molasses, guys. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of molasses. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be a nice sweetener for us as well, okay? So we want to get that molasses right in there, just like that. Let me button this up. Okay, guys, we got our molasses in here, and I'm going to give this a nice little salty kick. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Guys, these are pretty simple ingredients. You might have these at the house already. People use molasses to make gingerbread cookies, and it's often used in baking, so you might even have this in the cupboards, okay? So guys, listen, we've got all of our wet and dry ingredients in here. What we're going to do lastly is add our jalapeno, but I'm not going to put this in here. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to take my whisk, just like this, and I want to whisk this up really nice, get that Preg in there. And you see how much liquid there is? Not much at all, less than a half a cup. And this is so important, okay? And I can feel the granules of the pepper and the garlic in there. All right, so I got that in there. Now I'm going to dump this in to my beef. We're going to shake this up in just a minute. But lastly, in our jalapeno Dr. Pepper beef jerky, we're going to add the main ingredient, the star of the show, the jalapenos, okay? So on this jalapeno jerky recipe, what we're going to do is add 1/3 of a cup. Now I like jalapenos. So, and you see, I'm gonna put a little bit more of the jalapenos in there. You see I actually leave some of the fluid in there too, okay? And honestly guys, that's not a problem because we have put so little wet ingredients in here that after this sets up for a good 24 hours, it's gonna be perfectly fine. So, and it's actually really good because it's a high salty substance that's mixing in with this fragmented jerky. So guys, I am gonna mix this around. Now, I wish you could smell this. Again, smell-o-vision. So this is actually looking really good. Now, you see here, guys, look how dry that looks. Now, this is actually going to get even drier by tomorrow, okay? And so we've got our Dr. Pepper as the star of the show, the jalapenos as the star of the show in there. And I might even come out like a little elf tonight before I cook this up. And I might mix this up one more time just to get the full flavor. And this is actually going to be a lot darker tomorrow when it takes on the color of the Dr. Pepper and the molasses in here, okay? Guys, so we put enough. Now, I put just 1/3 of a cup of jalapenos. If you want to do more and you like it a little bit more spicy, be my guest. Again, this is about 2 pounds of beef. I'm going to flatten this out so it sets up and I can actually see all the nice green jalapenos in there. Now, you can use fresh jalapenos if you want. I personally eat a jar of, at least a jar of jalapenos a week to a week and a half. I love jalapeno peppers. So guys, Dr. Pepper, jalapeno, beef jerky, guys. The stars of the show right there. The Fat Yankee fragmented jerky on this Dr. Pepper jalapeno beef jerky is the way to go, guys. You're absolutely gonna love this recipe. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the Fat Yankee here.